Absolutely, and it looks like we are about ready to have our runners underway. So as soon as they kick off, we'll be going. And here we go. And Fred, we are starting at the potion shop north of Vanilla Level 3.
Not a bad starting place. It's still pretty central to almost everything. It has a little bit of a risk because you don't have as many Armos directly close to it. It's not as close to the northeast, but definitely fun with all these Lionels here to try to get up here to the Armos.
Absolutely, and both runners making a straight beeline for the Armos. Now, there are 5 Armos statue sets that will possibly house a free item, so that's why runners will sort of favor them. Cobra taking a death to the Armos before he can get in the cave, but he knows there's nothing there. And it looks like BT is heading towards start to search the caves here.
Yeah, absolutely. What you're going to see a lot of the runners do, for those of you who may not have seen Zelda Randomizer, is notice up in the top the boxes, the B and the A that are both empty. None of these runners have a sword right now, and so they don't have any weapon to defend themselves, and they literally just have to dodge things. And so there's guaranteed to be a cave that contains a wooden sword that they can use somewhere in Hyrule, and the cave can be accessed with no items. So that's why you're seeing runners head towards these locations. And well, there was a sword, but that's the magical sword, and they can't quite pick that one up yet.
Yeah, it doesn't really do BT any good, but both these runners know that if you can dodge a Lionel sword, you can dodge a dodgeball, so they will try to navigate themselves around it. Now, for those who aren't familiar with Vanilla Zelda, the runner on the right, jkoper, is actually an extremely accomplished swordless runner, so when he finds his resources, whether it be a candle, a wand, or what have you, he will be able to adapt very, very well. And BT is no slouch himself. He is one of the top any percent no up A runners. So both runners are able to adapt without the sword, but it's always nicer to have it.
Oh, definitely good to have a weapon. You're seeing a divergence in route here. BT is heading up towards the grave to check out the couple of open caves over here. jkoper is heading now towards the northeast of Hyrule. We were discussing those Armos statues there. There's 3 of those up there that potentially might hold a free item that they can pick up.
Eunice did find level 6 at the grave, however, he is not going to bother with it. Level 6 tends to be the second largest dungeon outside of level 9, next to only level 8, because of how the randomizer sort of builds the shape. So choosing not to traverse that without any sort of weaponry is actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it ends up being the biggest one, and it can definitely be a gigantic pain to go through sometimes, especially without any swords or anything. And you're seeing the runners get a lot of the door repairs as the Snape kills Dumbledore, but jkoper has found that candle. Now he was able to take one of the Take Any roads to get that. Was that the bow that BT just picked up?
It was something, and it does not appear in his B box, so it was either one of those items along the top or the bow. So that's a really good find on his side.
Agreed. As I said, I think it was the bow that he got, and the bow is one of the 2 items that is required, strictly required to beat the game. That and the silver arrows.
And look at that, we get the sword on his side as well in the forest, so he will be able to start traversing through these dungeons and taking out some of these enemies. Now, I didn't see a lot of dungeon enemies on the overworld, so we might have pretty standard fare. Now, we know that the enemies can still be sorted or switched up in the dungeons as well, so it might be pretty ugly in there still. But BT can at least swat at them.
Yeah, and as I say, they'll be able to take these guys out without hopefully too much trouble. But you're going to be seeing the runners here. We're not sure exactly what we're going to see. So there is a flag set for those of you who don't know. Normally the enemies that you're seeing here on the overworld are enemies that are traditionally on the overworld. The hit points are shuffled a little bit. The blue moblins here, the ones shooting the arrows at BT, are slightly higher health than average. But you're seeing the runner, but normally things can be intermixed. And we're just seeing right now, I think a lot of the overworld enemies have ended up on the overworld by completely random chance.
Yeah, and we see jkoper in level 7 blending in very well, by the way, Trogdor is, but he is choosing to traverse this without a sword. He might not last too long in here.
No, well, again, typically when you get into these dungeons, you see people will specify, okay, we're going to follow a rule of something. jkoper getting a really nice hint there that the red ring is in level 5, so now he knows what to go for. But you'll see some of these runners go in and try to check just a couple of rooms before they get out, hoping to find maybe a key on the ground that will help them unlock a different dungeon. In this case, you're seeing a staircase guarded by a Goma. You're going to see jkoper attempt to do a block clip through that, which is really, really, really tough to do when you have a Goma there blocking you.
Absolutely, and the other thing is jkoper was trying to use his candle to buffer, and if you do that, you cannot immediately hit up to go into the block. Otherwise, you will still make contact with the candle and knock yourself out of the block, which he did the first time through there. So you actually have to be patient when using the candle to clip.
Yeah. And jkoper, taking a death there. He saw some bombs he really wanted. I expect he will come back later at this point because he this dungeon set with all the Gibdos. Oh, apparently it's going to prove me wrong. The dungeon set with the Gibdos that we're seeing here is a tough enemy set that he can't kill with the candle. So looks like he's going to try to poke his head through a couple more rooms, see if he can either find a quick Triforce or find a letter, or not a letter, another item maybe to try to get through. He might also want those bombs.
Yeah, the bombs would definitely be nice, but there are a few doors here that he can explore through, even though they lead to Moldorms, and, well, they're not fun to deal with either.
Yeah, Moldorms take away 2 hearts if you are playing with, if you don't have any defensive upgrades.
BT is currently searching up in the northeast. Very nice area to explore. It seems that, at least something's always up here, whether it be a sword, a level, some warps, or something. So we'll see if there is anything of interest up here. And jkoper does finally leave 7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a sword, so he can't do it. With the blue candle can only be used once per room, which means that if you somehow kill the enemy, no matter if you use it to burn enemies one time, you can't kill them unless they can get hit a couple of times, only in 1 or 2 hit points, and we weren't seeing that with the enemies he was seeing at all. jkoper now finds level 8. There, a little bit south of where vanilla level 7 is, so he's going to pop his head around a little bit in here, hope that he can find something here. Level 8 has a bit more value to it. It's most likelihood going to be the biggest dungeon that you're going to see, but it also is likely to. It also contains 2 items, just like the level 1 that BT has just found.
Yeah, BT finding a lot of good information where he is right now. 1 is a lot smaller than level 8, does hold 2 items, as you said. 1 will be on the ground, 1 will be in a staircase. So he will be clearing out quite a few of these rooms for potential keys, but definitely that item.
Yeah, also got a good bomb drop there, which will also help him out. All the rooms in level 1 are guaranteed to be connected. Oh, this is going to be an ugly room if this is the item room here.
And level 1 pulled this right out of vanilla level 5.
Except even more blue Darknuts. I mean, I was just facing some of these guys here just before the match came up, and they weren't. The 6 of them in vanilla level 5 weren't cooperating. So having 8 of them is even worse. Yeah. Wonder if we'll see BT take the chicken strat and hide on the block.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the unintended evil side effects of your randomized enemy group sets, is the fact that, well, you can get 8 blue wizards or 8 blue dark nuts in a single room, and they're not fun. And, well, meat strats on BT's side.
Yeah, the meat does cause certain enemies to get drawn towards it, so that way you can potentially group them up. But the dark nuts are not in that set, and I haven't yet decided to mess with that.
You heard it here, folks. Yet.
Could be a fun one.
Well, dark nuts should get hungry too.
It's true. For those who don't know, I am the developer of this randomizer, so if I say that something could be coming, it may legitimately show up at some point.
very good job to patiently clear them out, and it was worth something, and it was worth the power bracelet. So not a bad find here in level 1. And Cobra does get his bow as well.
Yeah. The power bracelet does unlock 4 screens on the overworld map. You have to push a block in order to be able to access them. That's the entire purpose of the power bracelet, is to unlock those screens. So we'll see what happens with the play here. It looks like these orange whiz robes are approximately normal hit points. That will be very good for these runners, but BT must be careful because their beams for these orange whiz robes do 4 hearts of damage when you don't have any rings.
Does pick up the compass, so that will tell him where the Triforce is. He's still looking for another item. Heart wouldn't actually be a bad thing to find here either, because if he does find the heart, that will also put him up to 6 hearts, so whenever he comes across the white sword item, he will be guaranteed to pick it up. And, well, we get the hint for level 2 as well.
Yeah. So there's a number of different regions in Hyrule that we've assigned names to, and you get hints like that potentially if the hints are helpful that specify, in this case that Dodongo dwells near a lake, so there will definitely be water on whatever screen it is that level 2 ends up surfacing on.
And if you look at the tracker on screen, you will see that parts of the overworld are shaded in different colors, and that corresponds to those hints. So it's sort of like the lake corresponds to any one of those green spots on the tracker. And wow, this level 1.
And BT appears to be deciding that discretion is the better part of valor and has decided to come back later.
Yeah,
with no bombs. Yeah, completely cannot blame him.
But Cobra doesn't even have bombs to find level 1, so and BT does find, hey, there's another Take Any Road.
Interesting that BT hasn't taken the full cycle yet to find out where all those roads are, but at this point, I guess he's just looking to get as much as he can there.
And I think BT is also finding all the small secrets, which are very small, just 3. I don't think we've seen a large yet, but the medium are fairly good as well, so.
Yep, the small secret can range anywhere from 1 to 20 rupees, so on average ends up about 10, so 3 is incredibly low for that. The medium secret can range anywhere from 25 to 40 rupees, so it's above average, that should be good. And then the large secret can actually be anywhere from 50 to 150 rupees, so it could be a very, very big boon for them, it could be very, very low.
And you see that, yeah. Copper had a much more difficult time with the screen just because, well, he doesn't have the sword, and BT does, and BT gets to the White Sword Cave and just finds more rupees. But really nice large secret there, 129.
And Dr. Nate, that is actually Trogdor from Homestar Runner, that whole fun stuff from the Strong Bad emails, so that is what you're seeing there on jkoper's side.
Yeah, when Randomizer first started, jkoper actually had a custom ROM made that he could participate as Trogdor, and Fred actually just incorporated it into the Randomizer itself, so anyone can participate as Trogdor. But you will see actually there are a lot of custom sprites that people use now, just to sort of enhance and make the Randomizer a little more entertaining. And jkoper does find level 2 by the lake in, I believe that was that in the forest or southeast?
Southeast of Vanilla level 4.
Okay.
It's as I said, it is by a lake. It's the one by a lake there, as I said, it looked like close to Vanilla 4 because he died on the Overworld, so he went back to start there, and so he's, I think, hitting Candle Row on his way back towards the northeast.
And Breastickle taking a death in level 8. May choose to do a little more exploring in here, although this level does not seem fun so far. And look at that, the Any key in level 2.
Oh. That is actually amazing. So the Any key is, basically the magical key. It has the ability that it can unlock every door without being used, so jkoper will not have to worry about keys anymore. And he's decided at this point to just exit now that he has the heart container out of, and there's level 9 as well. Now that he has the heart container and the Any key, he's going to escape level 2. He'll come back when he actually has a weapon. He's still waiting to try to find a sword at this point, but he actually has a good number of the dungeons that he's found.
And that's an unfortunate thing to see. 34 rupees for bomb pickup, and Well, Cooper is going to buy them because it is a source of attacking, and he finds level 3 over southeast of vanilla level 1. And immediately seeing a staircase, yes, it is going to be segmented.
Yep, I've discovered most of the time, I feel like when you do have a segmented level, like a level 3, it ends up being a very small segment to start out the level and then the staircase. So if you find a staircase early in those levels, I've been finding more often than not, it seems to equate to a segmented dungeon. So naturally, if you're looking to play the vanilla game in First Quest, levels 1 through 4 do not have any staircases, but when items show, or when the randomizer generates the shape for one of these levels, you will see potentially dungeons have a couple of different segments, and it will add staircases so that way you can get to every room in the dungeon.
And Cooper does pick up the Triforce out of level 3, still has not got the item, but he will return it later. Probably once he gets some sort of ability to attack, and man, look at these Wizrobe rooms for Breastickle in level 8. Luckily, gets a really nice spawn pattern there from the red Wizrobes, and finds a raft for his troubles.
And the raft unlocks 2 dungeons, or not 2 dungeons, 2 screens on the overworld. And also, with the latest craze, we may see, if BT finds the recorder, you may even see a recorder thing happen, a new glitch found, not glitch, but a new thing in any percent found very recently, which is funny because this game's been out now over 30 years, but allows you to, normally the recorder will take you to the location of the levels, and basically by using this new technique called the recorder, it actually can take you basically 1 screen north and 1 screen to the left of the level. So you may see a runner take advantage of that if that would possibly get them to their destination a little bit faster. I don't know if we'll see it here in the randomizer, but we've definitely been starting to see it show up in vanilla runs.
Now that would actually be beneficial to get to like vanilla level 4, but Raft's required to do it, so doesn't really work. And we do find randomizer level 4 on the jkoper side, but well, we got more mummies, so candle isn't going to be too beneficial here.
No. And actually, with that, we have now found every single level out there, so we know that recorder has basically been guaranteed, or not the recorder, but the raft and the power bracelet are not strictly required to the jkoper getting another Triforce there. They will not strictly be required in order to access any dungeons. It's possible you still may need one of them to get to the white sword item, and if that happens to be the white sword, for example, not the white sword, the silver arrows, then that may still be, they still may be required. But the odds of them being needed are now looking very, very slim.
Yeah, the other potential is that recorder still may be the white sword item, and we may have a Dignaga block somewhere in one of these levels. And Breastickle also got the map for level 7, which is very, very blocky. But the thing that strikes me about that is, man, level 8 is going to be big.
Yeah, so basically level 7 and level 8 share a 8x8 grid with the way that dungeons were laid out in memory. And basically, if you take a picture of level 7 and you invert that, that's basically what level 8 could be. And so, yeah, level 8 is going to be a very, very large and possibly very painful dungeon.
Yeah, also over on jkoper's side, he finally did come across the arrow shop, and unfortunately the arrows are 2 rupees shy of their maximum possible price. They're normally 80, but with randomizer they can be plus or minus 20, and they are 98 right now, so a very steep purchase for arrows in this seed.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's with the current version of this, there are some Tektites in the dungeon, so it looks like a couple of overworld enemies did make their way into the dungeons here. So, as you're walking around here playing the randomizer, you will possibly see some fun stuff go on with all this. I completely lost my train of thought. Good job, Fred. One of those days. I apologize.
So BT coming across what might be the item room here. It has a double push block, so
nope,
it's not push. And
he's having a hard time getting around this dungeon too. Wow, how did jkoper get through that alive?
It's amazing, and apparently Lionel's have just started, an expedition to take over Hyrule because it seems Lionel's are everywhere here. And was
Yeah, I've
that
been
Red
noticing
Candle?
that there. That was Red Candle on the coast, so you probably won't see jkoper come back there because he hopefully will be getting his sword in about 30 seconds if he doesn't die on one of these two screens. Why did I say that? I'm
And
sorry.
there we have our commentator's curse.
I'm sorry. I need to remember not to talk.
And that's actually a really good hint for BT right there because that's going to lead him towards the lake eventually, which we know level 2 and 3 are also in that general area, so that will help him discover more levels. And another single block room, so this could potentially be...
Yeah. As I was trying to say, though, before I decided to cause jkoper to hate me for all eternity, what you will often see with the red candle is it's a great secondary weapon, but if you don't have a sword, or if you have a sword, then you already have a candle, you're probably not going to take a special trip to get back to it.
Now that is a good item on Breastickle's side. He gets the wand, which has the ability to do the same damage with both the actual rod as well as the beams as the white sword, so that will increase his damage on everything except, well, Wiz Robes.
It's an absolutely great weapon to find, especially in the early going, but even later on in the seed, you'll still see runners pick it up. It also has a nice trick that if you swing it on the same frame as your sword by hitting both A and B at the same time, you can do damage with both items at once. You'll often see runners use both of those to try to get through a little bit quicker. And as I said, it's an absolutely great weapon. It works on everything except for the Wiz Robes, and it will certainly help out the runners here a bit more.
It's also nice in rooms like the one that Breastickle was just in with bubbles in it, because that is not susceptible to being taken away by bubbles, so you still have a good combat weapon and do not have to worry about navigating around them.
Agreed. jkoper has his sword now. He is filling through the rest of the forest here. I think we've already seen some of this from BT earlier. I don't think there's going to be a ton in this general area, unfortunately, but I think there are a couple of secrets that he's going to find that will certainly help out.
Absolutely, and Breastickle is back into level 8. He will do a little bit more searching to find the Triforce and the second item in here. Now, we already did find the raft, but compass is a good thing, and while we kind of figured that 8 would be something like that, and the Triforce is on the completely other side of the dungeon.
Yep, so this is going to be a long walk, and BT's picking up keys. Again, he hasn't found level 2, so he doesn't know where the magical key is, but with 5 keys, he should at least feel somewhat safe to explore a little bit here. He's going to be still trying to get up to level 9 there, or get through the game as quickly as he can. He's not banking on finding the magical key.
Now, we did just see on jkoper's side, and I believe we saw it earlier on Breasticle's side, we had a bunny tell us that he appreciates us. But what that means is that either the white sword location or the magic sword location is now not going to be revealed to us through a hint, because that replaces one of those hints.
All right, it's another case of those community hints that we've been talking about here, where where you'll see some of the hints get removed from the game because of that.
And Breastickle continuing to search on, and oh shoot, we got a map, and yes, right there is as big as we expected.
Wow. It to be. Yep, that's quite the shape there of level 8. So, and an annoying level 8 too, because all the chutes seem to be hiding here.
Absolutely, maxed out on rupees, so he doesn't really even need that. Now, unfortunately, jkoper was out of the forest before he found his way up to the Lost Hills to get into level 1, so he is instead going back into level 3 to search for the item.
Which is actually not a bad call at all here. He doesn't found, he's found almost all the dungeons at this point, so he needs to get items at this point.
And BT making use of that meat that he bought.
Strictly not needed at all to do because you could just, all it took you up was into the horizontal shoot room, but it gave him the chance to get it out of his inventory, which I think was really an important thing for him because now he can cycle through his items quicker.
Yeah, that's absolutely the big reason that he did it.
No.
And wow. Very,
knowing that room is the fact that that is the room with the Triforce, and therefore the ladder is required in order to get the Triforce out of this dungeon.
And there's always that good possibility that the ladder is in this dungeon as well.
And we haven't seen a lot of water rooms here, so it's definitely possible, and at least now BT has the map, so he can attempt to figure out where to bomb to try to get further in the dungeon, try to find that second item.
The other good thing for BT is, well, this room isn't one of those good things, but
oh gosh,
he knows that 8 isn't segmented, so he's already found the corridor staircase that transports him to another part of the dungeon. So he knows that, he'll probably have to clear out that wizard room to progress further unless he can backtrack from the other side of the transport.
Jacob with a really nice use of the bait there, only finding the magical boomerang, unfortunately, but by using the bait, he was able to draw the gorillas that were in that room close to him, so that way he could focus the fire on them instead of having them focus on killing him.
Yeah, the gorillas are one of those enemies that are susceptible to laying the bait out. Octoroks and Moblins also fall victim to that. But he instead leaves and finds some Smash Brothers reference.
It seems to be one of those things. I haven't played Smash competitively, but I think that was like one of those very common settings, I guess, for Smash purposes. So I'm told.
It works. So BT does look like he is going to try to take the opposite way back. Now, that room to the left of the shoot room, he should be able to bomb down into because, well, every room is accessible. So he will be able to get in there. Whether or not it holds anything of significance, well, it could be a staircase, but it is not.
Nope, not in this case. And that's one of those cases we were discussing earlier, the fact that you have second quest shapes, and so basically second quest rooms. And basically any room, for the most part, what you can do is push on the leftmost block once you've killed all the enemies. And if you can clear the room out, or rather, if you can push the block, then a staircase could potentially appear. Sheesh, this is a crazy thing. And jkoper is actually choosing to retry here, try to save his resources from earlier.
Yeah, this room is, as much as you hate having to sit there and what I refer to as manual mode these wizrobes, this is actually nice because it does give the possibility for bomb refills, which with all the blue wizrobes in this dungeon are something that are premium.
Oh, completely agreed. And BT found what he needs. Now he just has to get through the shotgun room here again. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, he was, well, there was no hard place. It was just a bunch of wizard beams that were coming right at him.
Yeah, he was in trouble. And jkoper here is exploring level 8 here as well. So they're both in the same dungeon at this point. Actually, almost about to give each other a high five at this rate. And, well, could that be the item staircase there with the Goma there? That's also possible. Well, no, actually, no, because we just found the second staircase. No, ignore me. That's definitely not it. As we said, since level 8 will have 2 items in it, plus 1 transport staircase naturally, so there's 4 staircases, and we've already found the raft, and we found the spiral staircase now where the second item will be. So it's just up to BT now to get back there. And again, he knows that all he needs to do is get through that room to get the final item. Looks like jkoper's actually on his way there as well, just from the blind exploration. He does not have the benefit of the map here to tell him where to go.
No, but makes really quick. Yeah. BT is now also trying for some hearts so he can take on this room a little bit better, because the thing for jkoper is even though he has 4 hearts, he is still within sniping range of these Wizrobes, so he is taking it slowly and purposely trekking his way through so he can manipulate the Wizrobe. And oh no, this was the raft room.
Oh, this was the raft.
BT must forget that he got the raft out of here. So
yeah, as we were saying earlier, jkoper is a master at doing stuff like that in this game in terms of the movement around enemies and knowing how to dodge them. So he is phenomenal at doing stuff like that.
Yeah, BT definitely forgot that that's where he got his raft from.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get these Wizrobes on a favorable spawn, which he does. And he's going to be very disappointed when he gets oh, man, another...
That one was you that time.
It was. I will take the blame.
So it's possible, actually, then, that this Goma is guarding the second item that they walk by all the time here.
Now, BT did find that you can bomb from that staircase room, which also leads to quite a bit more of the dungeon. So we'll see if he takes that spot eventually.
Yeah. I'm still, well, I guess he just hasn't found an arrow shop yet, but I'm still waiting for the point where he decides to go buy arrows here, because I think that would, with the number of Gomas we've seen, and the fact that there's some Pole's Voice there on the Overworld, so I guess the Pole's Voice won't be as much of a threat today compared to what they can be, because they can often creep up a lot in dungeons. So the bunnies can, have about 9 hit points naturally, but they die to a single arrow.
Which is always very nice, and, well, BT's still just having so much trouble with these Wizrobes.
Ooh.
Cooper buying himself more bombs from the forgotten spot there. And, yeah, I'm wondering how long until BT decides, I'm just going to camp out in this doorway and, manipulate and cause the Wizrobes to spawn right in front of me to where I can just continuously drop bombs right in front of them.
Yeah, because that's one of the things actually that jkoper did really well there. He thinned the rooms significantly by getting a few of them killed, and then when there were only like 2 left, he did that. But I think BT has convinced himself that the ladder is going to be there.
Okay, we get a hint that a feat of strength will lead to the White Sword, so that tells us that the White Sword is in level 6.
Most likely level 6. I think we've seen all the push blocks. It's possible that could be the White Sword Cave too. But either way, at this point, you can almost certainly draw from that hint that level 6 is going to be the White Sword Cave. So yes, that's going to be definitely a good thing there for the runners to know. jkoper is re-entering level 4 now. He has the Triforce, but he is looking to try to get any items he can here because he still needs silver arrows. He still needs the ladder. We know he needs the ladder. He's at this point hypothesizing that, and BT has just realized that he already got the raft from that room.
Yeah, he's probably a little frustrated there to discover that, but he is going to actually continue left here to search out the rest of. He's committed by this point, so hopefully he finds something, and it is not indeed a Goma block.
Yeah, it's good dodging there, though, with all these blue Wizrobe rooms. Fortunately, the Wizrobes have... It's tough to understand exactly how the Wizrobes move, so sometimes people will get a little bit frustrated on that. And, jkoper discovering that the wooden boomerang is located in level 4.
Yeah, unfortunately, not great items so far. We still have the book out at large yet, but yeah, runner's still looking for 2 of the 3 big items.
Yeah. It's interesting here, because this is going to be an interesting little battle here, because jkoper has a ton of knowledge here about where almost all the levels are. I mean, the one thing he's missing, really, is level 1. But everything else, he knows where everything else is. And BT, on the other hand, at this point, has not covered as many of the levels, although he's about to hit a couple of them right here. He's about to hit levels 2, 3, and 9, and that should actually bring him mostly up to speed with the other levels. But he's already done some of the big digging in 7 and a few of these other dungeons, so he knows where he needs to go at this point.
And BT does come across level 2. He's going to find the Enki right about now. Much easier room for him having the... Oh no, it's not this room.
There it is.
Here, yeah.
Up by 1.
Yeah,
you almost think you're a programmer.
he does have an easier time in this dungeon because he has the 1 at this point. And, well, hello, Patra.
The fact that he was able to time his swings so that way Patra would at least get through the expanding phase there. That was not necessarily easy to do. He was able to take advantage of the iframes there, but I have a feeling he's going to try to take a different route now and only kill the Patra if he has to.
Yeah, unfortunately, for someone like BT, a Patra itself is not a huge issue. He wouldn't mind taking it on with the wood sword. The big issue is the fact that you're also in a turret room.
Right.
Which is one of the most evil things Fred has done to us.
You're welcome.
He does have a map. We do see 2 is segmented as well. He'll get his heart here from the Lake.
So if they do need to get the item from the White Sword Cave at some point here, they will be able to do that. Actually, here's level 5. I take it back. We didn't know where level 5 was. We know the red ring is in this level. We just hadn't found it now, but it's up on Death Mountain. At least I think
Very
that's where it
interesting. BT will have to return here at some point, but he'll find level 9 right now. And the really interesting thing about that level 2 is you can complete it without even getting to the room that has the transport staircase. You don't see that too often in your segments.
That's true. Sometimes you see weird, fun stuff there. And jkoper has decided to continue advancing through. He has the magical key, which means he doesn't, when the P-hat there decides it wants to tell him to leave bombs or money, or bombs or keys, he can just use the any key to get through and not lose that. I did at one point consider making it cost you the any key if you use that, so it would revert back to the regular key count of what you'd collected throughout Hyrule, but never actually caught on, so fortunately for everyone else out there.
Yeah, it's nice. It gives a little extra added benefit to that item as well. Koper does grab the Triforce out of 5, and let's see if he goes back in for the red ring.
I don't think so, because it looked like he was mostly ladder blocked in that scenario. The room north of the old man there, and there was a tea room, and the room to the west there was a horizontal, or had a vertical river in the room. So he was actually completely blocked. So he's going, if he wanted to get red ring, he would have to go in with the a ladder, I believe.
And why have you done to level 3, Fred?
I didn't do it.
This is
it almost looks like a ninja throwing star.
Yeah, this is quite the level 3 here. Cobra is heading back to 6 as well. We know the white sword's in here. We'll see if he digs it out or if he just goes directly for Triforce, or directly for a ladder block.
Well, that's a quick way to not go into level 6 then. Yep, that's a ladder block dungeon right there.
So at this point, may Goma hold the ladder in level 8 there?
Goma potentially could hold the ladder. I mean, it could also be in level 1. Remember, jkoper didn't really explore it because he was bomb blocked at the time. He had no bombs left when he was up there, and I think BT either was low on bombs or low on keys. I don't remember which one, but he definitely, or even could have been just low weaponry. Yeah, BT actually ran out of bombs on his way through level 1, right.
So he had to leave. Koper is coming back in with arrows, though, so we'll see if Goma leads to anything.
Oh, but Goma has more hit points than you normally would expect here. Normally, the orange Goma can die to a single arrow. Nope, it's not that room. But normally he'll die to a single arrow, and in this case it took 2 hits there to take him down.
And our item in 3, we have already seen, is the blue banana, so Breastickle kind of disappointed here. He will go back over and just pick up his Triforce, which will give him his 3rd.
It's actually a really interesting seed here, because as I said, BTE has been making a ton, he's done a ton of progress into some of those bigger dungeons. He already knows he is ladder blocked in 8 in terms of the Triforce. jkoper has not yet discovered that bit. He discovered the raft, that's when he aborted. But at this point, jkoper has the knowledge of almost all these dungeons, what they're in there. So if jkoper finds out he needs that ladder, he knows he's got to go to 1, 7, or 8 at this point. Whereas BT doesn't necessarily have that knowledge, but he's already done a bunch of the pushing through a lot of the bigger dungeons, and I think once he finds the other dungeons, then he's going to start flying through them. So it's really an interesting race of which one's going to get there first in terms of the finishing off the knowledge and finding what they need.
Both of our runners are fairly healthy now, up to 8 hearts each, and well, Koper gets a hint that we haven't seen yet. Step over the water to reach the heart container. Ladder is in 1 though, so there we have it.
Yep, that's, as I said, so at least now jkoper knows, don't go bother digging right now into... Oh, actually, again, jkoper does... Oh, he knows he's ladder blocked out 6, so he knows he needs that ladder, so he's going to be now hunting for level 1. And he knows once he gets in there, although most of the time you'll see most of the runners automatically go through level 1 full clear, because it's going to be the smallest dungeon. By default, levels 1 through 6 are all contained in an 8x16 grid, and the smallest one's assigned level 1. So jkoper's likely to dig out that dungeon anyway, but especially now that he knows that the ladder's there, he's going to definitely be digging that out now. Once he finds it, which is really the problem. But he will... Looks like he's working his way up the coast, and as long... I'm not going to say anything with the lovely firing squad he's looking at right now, but assuming he reaches level 1 at some point in the future, he will certainly go through and dig it out.
He has taken the raft, so we will see what is at the other raft location. Now remember, we haven't seen the white sword item yet, but both raft locations are just spoilers and money takers.
Be interesting to see if the... Because at this point, we've cleared out almost all of Hyrule, so at this point, the white sword item may be power bracelet or recorder blocked at this point.
I think we've seen most of the power bracelet spots opened even, so...
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Did jkoper finish Death Mountain here? I'm not positive if he finished all of Death Mountain, but... Oh yeah, he definitely did. Yeah. I'm trying to run through my head anything else. It might be a recorder blocked for the white sword item, whatever that ends up being. Which is good to know that it's not in... If that's the case, it's at least good to know that, the recorder's not in it, but...
Yeah, possibly silver arrows. That would be really interesting.
And to answer the question in chat there, yes, we got a feat of strength to the white sword hint. However, we do know that the graveyard also classifies as a feat of strength because you have to shove the gravestone out of the way. And level 6 is located at the graveyard. So we're currently working under the assumption that level 6 is where the white sword is, but we could definitely be proven wrong here. It may be that the white sword is in one of the push blocks that we haven't seen yet. As I said, I think we've pushed all of them, but maybe the one south of the fairy fountain there near the desert. I don't remember if we've had that one pushed yet. I should be taking better notes.
Now, BT is going to come across level 5 here, and I believe he was actually the one who saw the hint about Red Ring in level 7, so we may see him try to just, peek through a few rooms to try to find it. I can't imagine he'll spend way too much time in here. And he does the speedrunner habitual unlock of the door north of there, even though he has the any key.
Yeah, it's a habit that's really hard to break. As it is, like anytime I see, oh look, there's a bomb drop. My immediate reaction, for example, is go and pick it up, even if I have 8 a full set of bombs. It's just ingrained in me. Bomb drop, need to pick that up immediately.
Yeah, and BT immediately picking up the Triforce, and it looks like he's just going to nope on out of there. So he is not concerned about the Red Ring.
Yeah.
Not that at 8 hearts he really needs it. He's quite an established combatant. And jkoper, now on the screen with level 1, he is in there, so he will be hunting for his ladder.
Yeah. Yeah, both BT and jkoper, in addition, to the sword list that we were talking about for jkoper, both of these runners have pushed low percent runs before. So.
Oh no! Look at that. The white sword item is the white sword, and it was under our last power bracelet location that we haven't checked yet. So
never mind.
Nice boon there for Breastickle. Does have double the power now, and doesn't even care about the ladder.
Wow, that's was not what I was expecting there. So yes, so now we have absolutely no clue what's in level 6. I mean, we've seen a few of these things here, but we're still curious about exactly what's going to come out of this. And I was going to say, I think, what did BT get in that in the Dark Knight room?
That right there was the power bracelet. We know
that was a power bracelet. That's right. So yeah, that's a power bracelet. So the ladder's a floor item somewhere here.
The other thing that we know, I'm not sure that BT saw what the item was in level 7. I think he left after getting the Triforce before he got to the item. But that range recorder is going to be in either 6 or 7.
That's very true. Or it could be an 8 actually.
Or yes, it could be the other item in 8. Yes.
Yeah. And jkoper now going through the fun Dark Knight heck that we're going to be seeing here to try to get this. He's trying to get them to group together because he only has 4 bombs. A bomb will do basically essentially the same as 4 hits with that wooden stick that he has. So he's trying to group them all together so that way he can convince them to keep going. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this is why BT noped out a level 1.
Yeah, this room right here, he didn't have bombs to progress forward, and well, can you imagine if that's the room the ladder is in?
No, that's the Triforce room.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, that's still
it's a guaranteed clear. They're going to have to clear it no matter what, but that is going to be an ugly, ugly room that they're going to have to clear.
Heart container, not what jkoper wants to see here.
He's close. He's going to find that probably in the next room or 2. Not this room, though.
Nah, and once Junos gets back up to level 1, he's going to have a lot easier time having the white sword now.
Yeah, BT will tear through We'll tear through this with the white sword here. Hopefully, it's interesting. BT did not even blink at any of those hints, so he didn't get. I think that might have been the cave where you would have found out Red Ring was in 5. So he's actually not at all. He's trying to get some bombs right now, but didn't even take a glance at those hints.
No, the hint for Red Ring was actually in level 7. He's seen that one.
Okay.
jkoper got the hint for ladder out of those hint caves. So.
Ladder was there. Yeah, you're right.
Not sure exactly why BT didn't buy him though. Not sure. I don't know what.
He might be saving for the ring. He could be saving at this point for bomb upgrade, especially with having no bombs. Bomb upgrade would be huge for him right now.
And jkoper, I believe, did get the ladder because he is back on his way to the Triforce. Or maybe he did.
No, he's hunting the 1 or 2 rooms he wasn't able to reach at this point.
It's a Gleeok. This would be appropriate for a ladder. Also, BT ended up leaving Death Mountain, I believe, before he checked over by Spectacle Rock, so I think he still has level 4 to find yet.
Yeah, he's definitely still hunting, trying to find level 4. Now he's got the push block. He's going to try to hunt out the remaining spots, hoping level 4's power bracelet blocked. There it is. You called it. Ooh.
Well, jkoper checked almost every other room up until then. So.
Yeah, well, true.
He is leaving, though, instead of trying to take on those blue Wizrobes for the Triforce, so he will have to come back to level 1 eventually.
No, but that's a really smart play. You are wood sword and 8, even with the wood sword and 8 bombs, the blue Wizrobe room is incredibly tough to fight through. So, looks like I think he's heading towards level 6 at this point. So going to head up there, go through, try to clear that, and see whether or not, try to get some extra strength maybe to be able to fight things again. He doesn't know where the white sword is. He's got this, I believe he saw the feat of strength hint, so he's probably assuming the white sword's in here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
And that would double his offense there against the Wizrobes.
yeah, I mean, he still needs the Triforce out of here anyway, so it's not like it's completely pointless. Eunice, not Eunice, Breastickle, finally checking out what's on the coast there and realizes, well, it's pointless.
Oh, the unfortunate downside, those rabbits, lovely bunnies there, the Pole's voice, they have apparently learned how to screen scroll. So they're normally restricted by the walls of the dungeon, and, well, you don't need there are no walls on the overworld.
And we find Zelda's room in level 6, which is really unfortunate because that room never holds anything, just a lot of heartache.
Completely agreed. Someone's asking in chat there about going back to 5 for Red Ring being a good play. It certainly could be, especially with the fact that, looking at that room that they're going to have to clear with the Wizrobes. But a lot of these runners are really solid game players at this point. I mean, again, if you try to judge it based solely on vanilla skill, which is definitely not the only thing to judge any of these players in Randomizer by, but both of these players have a 31-minute time or better time. jkoper, I believe, has the swordless world record. BT has a sub 30 vanilla time, held for at least a while, the low percent world record as well. So these players can handle things, and so digging through a dungeon that's large like 5 can be risky in terms of the time crunch, because you know who your opponent is and you know what they potentially might be doing. But at the same time, it certainly could. I mean, BT is probably saving his money right now and hoping to get a good to get the blue ring if he runs across it again.
Now, Cobra did come across one of the staircases, however, it was just a transport. So instead of taking it, he just opted to continue searching.
And you're seeing jkoper use the wood arrows there. Wood arrows are essentially equivalent in strength to the white sword. So since jkoper does not have the wand, he's using that instead to be able to clear out some of these enemies more efficiently. The only downside to it is that it costs a rupee for every arrow that you use.
Yeah, at this point, Cooper, I don't think really has any intention to buy anything. He knows he's low to where he won't be able to get a bomb upgrade and doesn't really need to purchase anything else. Breastickle, on his side, has found level 4 now. We'll eventually have to return to level 1. He's going to search out the item, but we know it is just another piece of disappointment.
No bias at all towards the wooden piece of stick, do you?
I have bias towards both of them, unless I have
with good cause.
Unless I have nothing else, I'm not too pleased about either. And there he finds the quite disappointing retractable wood stick. Grabs his Triforce. He is out of 4. Now he has been to 6. He has been to 8. He knows he is ladder blocked out of both. So my assumption is at this point, level 1 is going to be his immediate play.
Yeah, as I say, at this point, I think, there's really not much else that he can do here. He's seen, I think he's seen just about every dungeon here, so. And he does not have the recorder. Unfortunately, they haven't found the recorder yet, so you do have to leg it to get to any of these places, and going back to start really wouldn't help them out too much, because start's down in the bottom corner. They might be able to go back to start maybe in World Wrap, but it's not really going to gain a lot of time.
Now, Cooper is heading somewhere. I'm not sure.
I think he's filling up his health at this point. I think he might be making that play back into 1 for the Triforce. Oh, no, not with the Triforce. No, that's that. He's not in a good spot for that. He'd probably now go over to level 8 now that he's got his health, or actually level 7 it looks like. because he never got the Triforce out of 7. I don't remember if level 7 had Wizrobe, what set it was, whether that was Wizrobe or not. As I said, I know BT got through and got the Triforce there, but he didn't actually get the item out of here. And we're starting to run low on places for the Silver Arrow.
Yeah, and BT is actually heading right to where the ladder is, so that's really good on his part. And this Gleeok was squishy as it is, so with White Sword, he should be able to take it down really quickly.
Yep,
yeah, there
agreed.
we go. There's his ladder.
Yeah, so again, when jkoper fought that earlier, he had a Wood Sword, which does 1 damage, and the typical Gleeok, again, the hit points are shuffled a little bit, but the typical Gleeok would have 10 hit points for the first head and 6 hit points for each additional each additional head. And so, just like a cheap 1/900 number back in the day. And our friendly neighborhood BT here, again, now with the White Sword, you cut that down by a half, and if you swing the wand at the same time, possibly even a quarter.
And he is going to get these Wizrobes to go, so best of luck to him.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes they like to camp in the door, but if you hang out there long enough, you can get them to potentially sit, get at least a couple bombs on them. And since the ±2 hit points, it means you'll still guarantee enough damage to kill them with at most, kind of close there. You can kill them with at most 6 sword swings, I think, after the ±2 applies. Actually, yeah, 6 sword swings should cover it. So a couple of bombs, couple of sword swings, and he's good to go. And he has gotten that Triforce out of level 1, and he's got his ladder, which is probably one of the most important pieces. Now it's definitely going to be interesting to see how things go here, because now BT, he is now going along to Traverse. I think he's heading... He's got to beat 6 and 8 at this point, so he might be trying to head back towards the grave the long way, because I think if he was going to go to 8, he'd up A back to start.
Yeah, that would make more sense. I think he'll go to 8 last because it is closer to level 9 as well, so it is a quicker traverse that way.
But at this point, the question becomes, where are the Silver Arrows going to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking very likely that they're going to be in level 9. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Recorder yet, but that's the only item that's guaranteed to be outside of 9. So, yeah, not really sure what we're going to be looking at. And oh my goodness, yes, Wand was in 7. So,
Wand was in 7. That's right. That's where that was.
Silver Arrows are either going to be in 6, 8, or 9. And since we are quite a bit of ways into the seed already, let me do a quick item recap for you guys. Our Armless item was the bow, our Coast item is the red candle, and our White Sword item was indeed the White Sword. Level 1 had the ladder and power bracelet, level 2 had the Anti-Key, level 3 had the magical boomerang, level 4 had the lesser model, level 5 has the red ring, level 6 we do not know, level 7 has the wand, level 8 has the raft and an unknown item, and level 9 we do not know yet. We do have a Recorder in either 6 or 8, and then our other 3 items at large are the Heart Container, the Book, and the all-important Silver Arrows.
Yeah. And again, we know for certain the Recorder can't be in 9. So at this point, you really have a 2/3 chance, if you follow quote-unquote sabermetrics, at finding the Silver Arrows in 9. Again, not guaranteed, but 2/3 chance. So I think what you will probably see is, at this point, you'll probably see the runners get ready to start trying to almost Triforce and go through the rest of these dungeons, hoping that level 9 has the all-important Silver Arrows located in it. They also have the potential of getting a hint for where the Silver Arrows are in level 9. So I think you'll see them make the play for that here as things go.
Cooper is coming back into level 8. Well, he still needs the Triforce anyway, so we'll see if he digs out the item here. BT does look like he is digging a little bit for an item in 6, If
He also
Silver Arrow,
doesn't know where the Triforce is, though.
yeah.
So
If he does dig and finds the item here in 6, it might be potentially big because, well, Coper skipped out on the item here. So,
yeah.
we'll see how this goes.
Yep. If the item in here happens, if BT finds the item here and it's not the recorder, then he will know for certain that silvers are in 9. So we'll see. We will see what happens here, but I think at this point it's going to be a bit of a crazy seed here. Hopefully, we're going to see some good fun action here. The advantage BT has right now, in addition to a slight Triforce lead, although the Triforces and jkoper's needs are out of 1 and 2, so those shouldn't take too long for him to get. The main advantage BT has is that when he goes back to level 8, he knows where to go. He already found the compass, and he's already been in that room. He knows that that's a ladder blocked room. So at this point, BT has an advantage on that side, but really there isn't too much of an advantage here with both of these runners. This is going to come down to level 9 in the end, or wherever those silvers end up being.
Yeah, and this 6 is rather ridiculous. We already seen what level 8 looks like, so both of our runners in the 2 absolute worst dungeons.
Yeah, these can, again, by default, as I said, levels 1 through 6 share a map with each other, a grid with each other, and well, level 6 is always the biggest of that grid. And
Yes, indeed, the boomerang was in level 4.
Yes, the boomerang has been found and properly ignored by all parties involved.
And BT going his other direction now, still looking for this item, and kind of scary because it looks like it might be behind some sort of magic bomb wall. And does he go for the Triforce? No, he is continuing to look for the item. He has invested enough time that he thinks it is important enough to continue looking.
That's actually not a bad decision to at least peek a couple of more rooms and see if you can find it. But at some point here, you may have to make a play up, and this could be it if it's not a segmented dungeon.
It is the heart container. So that tells us that silvers are indeed in level 9, and with everything he has seen, either through hints or through the dungeons, BT now knows silver arrows are in 9.
Yep, so now you're going to see level 8. He's going to beeline straight through level 8 and go straight for the Triforce here. Whereas jkoper is exploring level 8 because, again, he doesn't know where he needs to go. He's actually been in the Triforce room, but he didn't know that at the time because, well, it was an ugly Triforce room. It's a Wizrobe room with a moat. But now he's got his compass, so now he should hopefully head back over there really quickly and find out the horror that awaits him.
Well, the other thing for Coper is Coper doesn't know the information that Breastickle does, so he may continue looking for that item.
That's true. It's true. He doesn't know where the silvers are going to be, so getting out of dodge.
One more advantage that BT has for this level 8 is the White Sword. Coper is not even going to come close again to the White Sword because he has to return to level 1 for it. Just to get the power bracelet first and then to find it. And the other thing that Coper has to think is, well, I haven't seen the White Sword item yet. Is White Sword item possibly silver arrows?
And to answer the question, Thalfon in chat, he has seen the feat of strength hint, we believe, for the White Sword. It's just therefore the belief is that it's in level 6 because he, feat of strength. Well, why is the White Sword cape going to be under a push block? That's never going to happen.
Not to mention, usually when you get those hints about like feat of strength and stuff like that, it is almost always corresponding to a level and not to the actual White Sword location. So that's another thing that may potentially be going through his head is,
yeah,
that never tells me where white sword item is.
But the other thing, though, that could come into mind here as we're watching him, jkoper go around, he's going back up to level 1 now to try to clear it out to get the Triforce, is that jkoper does not know, or rather, he doesn't know where the white sword is, the white sword cave is. So he may be thinking that that's outstanding. That could be the silver, where the silvers are. So you might be seeing him possibly try to check a couple locations to see if he can find that.
Absolutely, but Breastickle does get his level 8 Triforce, so he is now on his way over to level 9 with full health and everything. So he's not going to bother for Magic Sword, only a 20% chance, which we already know won't work because Cooper didn't get it at 11 hearts. But he's going to be going into 9, and he's going to be looking for 3 different things. He's first of all going to be checking a bunch of staircases. There are 6 transport staircases and 2 items in 9. One of them is going to house the silver arrows. The other one is going to house the book. He's hoping for the silver arrows. He's also going to be listening for roar that is happening in a room without a Patra, because that means Ganon is in an adjacent room, either north, south, east, or west. He's also going to be looking for a shutter door that does not open once he clears out the room. That means that Zelda is going to be in that next room. Cooper gets his power bracelet, by the way. There are also 4 possible hints in level 9. One will tell you where the compass is. One will tell you in which quadrant the princess is, in which quadrant Ganon is, and in which quadrant the silver arrows are.
That's actually an interesting gamble there. jkoper, still not having found the White Sword Cave, he did not take the power bracelet, but at this point, really, the power bracelet is probably one of the only places left that he hasn't seen. So
I think he has actually explored the rest of the overworld.
Yeah, well, at this point, he's probably at the point of, knowing that you're an hour 6 in. You're looking at that clock and you're starting to say, okay, I could be in trouble here. What's happening? And so he might just be trying to go with that gamble, but that will mean that in most likelihood he's going to be Wood Sword for level 9 here, which does give BT a slight advantage.
Absolutely. BT, now, when you enter level 9, there, without the silver arrows, there are 2 different strategies you can take. You can just duck into every staircase you find and continue looking to maybe listen for Ganon or to find Zelda, or you can take every single transport staircase you find, because it's going to quickly eliminate 2 possible staircases. BT is choosing to not take the staircases and rather just continue on a linear path.
Yeah, and jkoper there had a beautiful kill, just want to say, of that room with to get the Triforce out of 1. He did an absolutely amazing job clearing that out in order to get through all those 6 Wizrobes. So again, the master of Swordless knew exactly how to hide in the room appropriately.
Absolutely, and BT making quick work of the Dark Nuts, only to find, well, blue Wizrobes in that nasty room.
It's always tough having a Dark Nuts set in level 9, because the Dark Nuts can be very, very unpredictable, it feels like. I mean, there are patterns to their movement, but at the same time, they are basically programmed to sometimes move towards you, and sometimes basically move away from you, and they're supposed to be random going back and forth between the 2 of them. So it can be very tough sometimes to work around them. BT still finding stairs as jkoper scrambling to catch up here. He's going to try to find this Triforce as quickly as he can, so that way he can try to catch up further.
And another spiral staircase from not being friendly to BT, as he takes a death there. Now concerning is you have 2 of the worst enemies to fight because of all the damage they can potentially do to you, and you're down at 3 hearts to start.
Oh yeah, no, this is going to be interesting there. So we'll have to see if BT can continue to get through here. Again, he's probably hoping for that 1 major hint, so that way he will know where the silvers are.
Yeah, I think when you enter 9 without the silvers, that is the only hint you're absolutely hoping for. The other 2 are nice, but without silvers, yeah, Yeah, it's definitely. Oh my goodness, we found Zelda.
That's huge. So yeah, so again, there's a locked door in here. We just saw the locked door there, where if the door, you kill all the enemies, normally the shutter door is open. Didn't happen in this case, so we know that is Zelda's room.
And that's the second large amount of blue wizrobes that we've seen in that scattered line room, which in second quest rooms, they can be push blocks. So that may potentially be bad. And, well, there's one of our patches, too.
Yeah, this is an ugly set here in level 9. I mean, this is probably one of the toughest combos that you can do doing the wood sword, or not the wood sword, the dark nuts and wizrobes together. This is punishing.
BT using a lot of ducking strats to get through these blue wizrobes and does a really good job with it. Very, very hard to do because wizrobes in general have absolutely no iframes. They can just take you out immediately after you hit them. So, yeah, very good job there.
Yeah. And great bomb work again by jkoper here. Again, his combat is phenomenal in terms of the gameplay here, and he's just dissecting these blues and the dark nuts and such to be able to get through here. And he is actually poking his head a little bit further into the level. He's trying to find the second item here. Because again, he doesn't necessarily know where the recorder is, that the recorder is the second item in here, so he might be trying to get a quick kill here. Possibly he's actually trying to force a bomb off this, and I think that's what he's doing. Maybe he's going to take that into level 9.
Yeah, he is doing quick peeks, but, well, there's our meat block, which we already knew from BT earlier, but nice for Koper to know that he doesn't have to worry about that in level 9.
And there we go. jkoper has now completed his Triforce, and he is heading towards level 9.
Now, we said that BT had a slight advantage going into level 9 because of the weight sport. With the way the enemies are looking right now, I would say that it is slightly higher than a slight advantage at this point.
Well, I mean, again, the main advantage I think that he has right now is the fact that he's got some explorational knowledge. He's found Zelda. With the wizrobes in here, yes, that white sword's definitely going to be helping him out, especially with all these potential rooms. But as I said, definitely do not rule out jkoper here because both of them have the wand. They can definitely take care of trouble here, and I think this is going to. Again, it's all going to depend on the exploration at this point. The Great Equalizer is rearing its head.
Absolutely, and BT does have a little bit of it explored, but I mean, really, jkoper can just as easily find his way through and find the silver arrows a lot quicker. So we'll see what happens. And BT doing a very good job with those single frame taps of the sword and the wand together to take out these dark nuts. But does miss his bomb drop there.
He was trying
not an item.
He was trying to save the bombs and so run around and get that, but just ended up just missing it.
Yeah. Oh man, what a tough room to enter in.
And this is a very, very combat heavy. And this, again, the advantage that jkoper might have right now, we were saying BT does have the advantage in terms of offense where he has the sword. jkoper is still full health. He hasn't had any cases of having to up A yet. So he does have a slight advantage here in that front of the fact that he can survive some of these hits. You saw BT take a couple of hugs from Apatra and die a little while ago, whereas jkoper, can take a hit or two potentially and possibly survive a little bit longer.
Yeah. Also, one thing to note is look at that rupee count on Breasticle's side. uh, may be advantageous for him to maybe go dig or purchase a blue ring, just for some sort of added support to his trek through level 9. Now,
It's very possible. I just don't remember if he, again, I don't remember. He may not have written down even where the shop is. You would hope at this point that he did, but it's possible that he didn't write that down.
yeah, someone like BT who is very confident in their ability to do combat may not have wrote it down. That's why he didn't bother really even peeking for a red ring in 5. So it's causing him difficulty now. We've seen it before where randomizers aren't nice no matter how good you are at combat. So
and we have quite the fight going on here now. It's basically almost equalized out both of the runners here. jkoper having a couple of Wizrobes that want to give him a hug there right at the door of that room, but he's trying to fight through that 6 blue Wizrobe room with just the bombs that he has, and not with not using the wood sword so much because, well, he can't really do that. But I think he's got them in a decent pattern right now. Oh, and he gets the compass, and now he knows exactly where Zelda is.
now we remember that BT already saw that, so compass wouldn't help him at this point.
Right.
He is solely looking for those silver arrows. Something else that may not be a huge deal, but it is something to note that look at the color scheme. Both runners are actually the same exact color as the dungeon, which can sort of cause some issues if they are trying to locate themselves, especially on Coper's side, because the only thing visible on Trogdor in these levels is his arms.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the interesting little the case there, so hopefully it won't be too bad for him. And BT trying to hunt through here. Now, again, jkoper does not have bombs at the point at this moment, so he's trying to farm some bombs here to be able to explore level 9. This could be anyone's match here, folks. Again, they both know where the kidnapped awaits. They both are looking for the silvers and have both knocked out a fair number of rooms. Not necessarily all of them. BT has a slight edge there, but all it takes is that one room with the silvers, and then finding Ganon, and then who knows what'll happen.
Now BT is looking like he's going to clear this out, but I think this is the room adjacent to Zelda.
That would be correct, actually.
So this will be all for naught, in all actuality. About the only thing he can hope for is he gets a bomb drop as a result, just to replenish what he has.
And to answer the question, at least from the audio I've been hearing, we have not heard the roar of Ganon up to this point. So I'm going to guess at this point Ganon's probably up in the northwest, but again, we don't know. We have no clue at this point, really, anything about where anything's going to be. And both runners now are bombless. Oh, that would stink if that room that BT is in right now, if that's a required room to... Alright, well, BT is escaping that room after taking a couple out.
Now that's big, because even if he does die here, at least when he comes back after the death, he will only have to face 3 blue Wizrobes instead of the 5 that have been constantly in there before.
Agreed.
So setting that room is actually a really good idea. And I wouldn't be surprised if the runner started employing that tactic a little bit more, just with how crazy some of these rooms are in level 9.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's interesting to keep an eye on all this, too, because you've got to be wondering who's going to start gambling here. You know, you are a minute 18 in. You are playing against, in both cases, playing against one of the top people in the randomizer tournament. Someone who, in the Swiss rounds, they were a mere, I think, 8 seconds apart on their time. So you know you are evenly matched against them. And you're looking at that clock saying 119, why aren't they done? At the same time also saying to yourself, okay, yeah, I can understand why they're not done, but still, you know that they are close. So really, every single move they're making here, they know that the pressure's on. It's just a matter of finding that one room that will have that one staircase that they need.
Absolutely. And the other thing is I know neither runner is too overly concerned, but I don't doubt that there's not a little bit of, peeking at the IRC every now and again, just waiting for that dot done to happen. And nothing there for Yunus, so he's going to be back in this nasty blue wizard room.
Yeah, BT I think is trying to clear this room out so that way he can hopefully, he's hoping this is a staircase, that one of these 6 Wizro rooms happens to be a staircase here. Oh, he would love that if he could get the ferry, but will he? Okay, whew. Thought he was going to die in the process of collecting the ferry. And all for nothing there, that room did not have a push block. Wow. Is this a new room for BT? Because, oh no, I guess he must have been here before, but the fact that 5 rupees were still laying there on the ground had me confused there. But no, he's been here before. But there's no bomb wall there, he's just got to take the staircase.
I think he did take the staircase.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bomb wall to a section of the dungeon that they haven't been in yet. I think is what's going to end up being with what we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, he has been in this room and I believe tried to bomb out every single way too. Cobra finding another.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's always a heart attack when you come out of a staircase to a room full of 6 blue wizards there.
Yeah, and that's actually the same room that BT died in earlier.
Yeah.
With a possibility of going to the right, and Cooper is now searching in the same area. We'll see if he tries to kill all those blue wizards. And
I think at some point here you gotta.
Yeah. And BT did make his way down here earlier. We know that all it is another way to Zelda.
jkoper fighting the Patra here. Unfortunately forced to take the risk here of fighting the Patra from the right. Usually you want to fight the Patras from the left specifically so you don't start seeing those weird patterns like you just saw there. We've learned a lot about Patra movement over the past few months, especially thanks to the work of Fiskbit, look at stuff behind the scenes, and the safest way to fight a Patra is from the left when you can. Stress on when you can.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Level 9. Evil. Yeah.
Nothing doing for either runner right now, and
yeah, at this point, I think you're gonna have to see jkoper try to get through this room here, the diamond staircase. I feel like unless there's a bomb wall on the other side, and I don't think BT. I think BT did his bombing in here. Unless there's a bomb wall in here, you're gonna need to fight out of this room.
Yeah, BT did try his bombing in here and did not have any luck, and abandoned it with leaving 3, I think, still intact. But there's this room and there's the spiral staircase, and I have a feeling that one of those is going to play a big part.
jkoper with a great kill though in that room. As I said, the fact that he knows how to do the low percent swordless stuff right there, that was a clear sign of it. The fact that he was able to get through that room with barely any damage at all.
Cooper finding a new. Wow.
This is an evil level 9. I am almost sorry for its creation.
Now, this is a new room for us, so is there any potentially any good from it?
This could be where we get our staircase here. Any staircase at this point. We've seen a whole bunch of transport staircases, so at this point the number of staircases have to be running low. This could be our silvers. jkoper grabbing, getting another bomb out of that room as BT now tries to clear out that one room. He's only a couple of rooms away. But no push, no luck.
BT did a good job of clearing out that room. And we see finally one of our hints, and it is a community hint. So we have one of our hints eaten up. So there's still nothing on the silvers, nothing on Ganon.
As these two are actually almost about to give each other a high five here. They're pretty darn close to each other. Oh, BT taking a hug, unfortunately, from the Wizard, which is really unfortunate because if you do have to come up to this section of the dungeon again, you have to go through that diamond staircase again with the Wizrobes. They're going to regenerate.
jkoper learning that you can get into Zelda's room from the left.
And this is going to be a case of, at this point, likely having to find another bomb wall. That room is terrifying. Oh, and jkoper taking a beam from the back there. He was trying to get through that room and made it a lot further than I think anyone would have. And yes, the folks at home, we are talking about the runners here. An hour 25 minutes in, we are hunting for silver arrows here in level 9. We know where the kidnapped is. We do not know where the silvers are. We do not know where Ganon is. Or it's possible that jkoper's heard it and we just haven't heard it on stream, but for the most part here, we are, since they've really covered all but like the same 5 rooms, they're probably not going to be one way or the other. BT getting a really nice fairy there. We know silvers are definitely here. jkoper's actually technically gambling on that with the information he had, but so far it's a correct gamble for him. And really it comes down to they're probably going to have to come up through the northeast here and take care of business up here. But they're both green ring. The red ring is known to be in level 5. Both runners, that was ladder blocked, and both runners selected to not go towards that ring here. And it's very combat heavy level 9 here with dark nuts and Wizrobes aplenty. That has would make most mortal men scream in terror viewing and trying to fight through it.
Now BT had a beautiful room with all those 5 Wizrobes. However, this Dark Knight room is not treating him nearly as nice. He quickly lost all of his hearts. Does get one back, so he can take a hit from one of the Beamos now. But clears it out. He will be heading left. Do we have something to the left here?
We have a single block staircase. This is a potential staircase. This is a staircase. Let's see what we get here.
It's an item. It is the silvers.
It's the silvers. Wow. So you had to fight through a diamond staircase room of 6 blues, go 1 room north, and fight through a turret room of 5 blue dark nuts there in order to get over to where the silvers are. Wow.
Even more incredible now is we still don't know where Ganon is.
At this point, you gotta assume you gotta bomb north, maybe from the obstruction room here.
BT just trying to bomb anywhere, forgetting that he already bombed left there.
Yeah, we have no idea. We have no idea where Ganon is. As I said, based on the map that we're seeing here, the best theory is that he's somewhere up in the northwest here. Maybe a bomb wall up here, out of this blue Wizrobe room of doom.
With the way this 9 is going, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, both runners on multiple occasions having to try to farm to get bombs, try to get anything they can. This combat in this seed has been insane.
BT being super patient with these Wizrobes and immediately gets phased into by one of the blue Wizrobes. Just, oh, so rough. And now, if that is the path of Ganon, guess what? That 5 blue Wizard room will have to be cleared out once again.
Fortunately, when you do it a little bit, you can at least start to understand, okay, there are certain patterns that the Wizrobes will do, and you can potentially, eventually, stress on the word eventually, get them down into a place where you can safely kill them reasonably well. But it definitely takes a bunch of dodging to get them to that point anyway, and you can't guarantee that they will truly stay there or not. So now we have jkoper here, taking a different path down that I think we've seen BT take before, but yeah, at Half Hearts, he's in dangerous territory right here. BT is trying to get back again to that area that he knows of the map. He's going to try to get that heart now. jkoper's looking at the map. He is now, he's down here in the southeast with the thousands of, how did he survive that? How did jkoper survive that?
I don't know, but
he's found a bomb wall. He
can bomb there, which is good news for him.
He's using his potion. I missed the fact that jkoper grabbed himself a potion, so he's taking that health and he's going to try to, I think, make a break for it here. He's going to kill some of these blues here. And again, don't forget, jkoper has wooden sword. He did not go for he assumed that the wood sword was located in level 6, the white sword was located in level 6, when it turned out to just be under a push block. But jkoper makes his way over to this new path here.
Breastickle is heading back up towards that northwest area. Slightly better on health, but definitely in no room of comfort right now.
I'm wondering if jkoper could potentially be hearing Ganon or something here. We'll have to see. I'm clearly not in that room, but because again, we don't know where Ganon is. Ganon could technically be down in the south here. Ganon could be up in the northwest of the map here. We do not know where Ganon is. Again, you're watching two of the best runners of this game in terms of the combat skill. And we are trying to figure out any clue as to where Ganon could be. And with Patra there, you might not necessarily be able to hear if Ganon is next door, although the runners would know if he was next door because they would have heard him on the entrance to the dungeon.
Now, Breastickle does find a few bomb holes here. We'll learn that this does not help him because, well, he can't get left.
This level 9 is a maze. There will be a path here somewhere to get to Ganon, hopefully. The developer is sitting here completely worried that such a thing may not exist, but I'm fairly certain it will be. So my confidence fades with every single passing second. Yes, that's correct. Silver arrows were located here in level 9. BT getting buried there. You have to go through you have to kill 5 blue Wizrobes in a diamond staircase room to open a shutter. Go 1 room north from there, kill a bunch of dark nuts, blue dark nuts in a 4 turret room. And if you kill that, you go to the left and you can get your silver arrows. So again, technically jkoper does not know that, and can't bomb north from the, oh gosh, you cannot bomb north from that giant blue wizard room of scariness. And yes, there will be a quiz wreck. You have to pay extra close attention here. But yes, this seed is beyond evil. And both of these runners at this point, clearly have to be looking at their clocks saying, what's going on here? What is missing?
Absolutely, and quite an interesting note, and I did see it brought up in chat earlier, is both of these runners, because of their confidence in their ability for combat and everything else, they immediately elected not to dig level 5 for the red ring. A lot of other runners who maybe aren't as confident in their ability, having the information that red ring was in level 5 would have dug it out, and that may have potentially given them a big benefit in this level 9. So definitely something to think about with both BT and jkoper struggling to get through this level 9.
Yeah, it's certainly possible you'll see one of them turn around and make a play back there. I mean, if they really are feeling like the combat is bad enough, you may see that. Oh, gosh. I forgot just how ugly this section of level 9 was.
What part of level 9 isn't ugly though, Fred?
The Silver Arrows room only had a few in it. You can at least say that that was only mildly unpleasant to look at. It's really tough at this point because, again, do you leave level 9 not knowing what your opponent's doing? Do you take that risk and go and try to get a ring? Either BT's case, purchase a ring. I mean, the issue was the ring was clearly ladder blocked. Not the ring, but the red ring. The red ring appeared to be ladder blocked in level 9. There, not level 9. In level 5. So you had to leave. Both runners got the ladder very late because you had to kill Gleok in level 1 to get it. That no one saw. So you had to go through that very quickly. It was not an easy task at all to get what they needed. jkoper getting a really nice ferry there off of Moldorm or off the Land Mola. You know, just hoping for anything here at this point.
Yeah, and with the searching that jkoper did, now remember, it was a shutter room that opened up into the area where the silver arrows are. Now, that will not show up as a possible open door on the side of, on his minimap. So he may have completely forgot that that is a shutter door. So it may take him a while to get back over there to find silver arrows. And there's our map.
Wow, yep. Gigantic Swiss Fusion. Look at the quantity of this map that jkoper has covered here. And I mean, if we see BT pause at any point here, we can potentially see what portion he's covered too. But both of these runners have covered, I think, almost the same amount of the map. And with that bomb, we have proven that the only way to get to the silver arrows is through that one room. Ooh.
Yeah, the other interesting thing is that looks like that's the path to the northwest there. So BT is going to have to find that specific area as well, just to be able to make his way up there to search.
And yes, I'd say based on, again, with the fact that jkoper's explored a bunch there, when he found the staircase to take him down to the bottom part of the southwest area of level 9, he, I think, definitely has explored enough of that area that he would have heard Ganon if he was down there. I'm wondering if he heard Ganon in that corridor staircase that he was in, and that's why he didn't. Well, I guess he was trying to fight his way through the lovely 8 Dark Nut room there, but we don't know again if he may have heard at that point. You have to think at some point there soon he would have heard Ganon there. That map's definitely going to help out jkoper. The maps never lie. So this piece of Swiss cheese here will tell jkoper where he can bomb safely, or at least where he's at least going to go into a room if he does bomb.
BT finding another path into this northwest, and we get an old man saying, leave your max keys, which is no big deal. But with how he's quickly searching, I believe he is hearing something.
Yep, he has.
We have a Ganon sighting at last. Ganon hiding himself in the far
upper left,
and
not this
in
room.
One of the worst rooms.
Oh gosh, this is even worse.
Now, it will take 8 hits for BT to take out Ganon, and the thing is he's still Green Tunic, so one Hyrule driver will put him in a very, very bad state. And, I mean, it didn't even take a Hyrule driver. The Fireballs will do quick work there as well.
Yeah, that is a The NSU room there, as it's referred to, because if you look at the shape of the tiles, you can almost see the letters NSU spelled out. For those of you wondering why we call it that. It is a completely evil room to fight a Ganon in, and with a lot, your ladder limits your mobility in that room, where normally you would at least have some mobility to move around and try to dodge Ganon. Again, both of these runners are in green tunics, so Ganon hug would be 4 hearts. A fireball it will cause 1 heart, so at least they will preferably take a fireball hug over a Ganon hug. But you can see BT here. jkoper does have the slight advantage that if he can get over to the Silver Arrow room, he will get, he can has a potion for Ganon, so he can try to fight that. And Piercing Mountain, to answer your question, no. There are certain rooms that Ganon cannot spawn in because it's impossible to reach the Triforce after you kill him. So there are certain rooms where Ganon cannot appear. And a T room is one of those cases because you could possibly kill Ganon in a place where you would have to clip in order to get the Triforce. And basically, we try to set up the rules for this that it will not be any clips required. Well, BT, he's fighting this room here, trying to get some health from the blue darkness. He's gotten himself up to 6 hearts. So actually make that with a fairy 9 hearts there now.
Yeah,
beautiful play
to do that because he does know that the Blue Dark Knights are in the health group. So even though they do take a little bit of combat, it is definitely worth it if you are comfortable with fighting them. And he is a lot more comfortable fighting Ganon as well.
We're looking for 8 hits here. The second hit, and 3, 4. We got a stun lock in place. 6. Oh, only got 6 of them. He's hoping to get this last hit without the driver. He's being really careful so that way he doesn't do it. And Ganon is finally bacon.
There we go. Surprised he doesn't just up A here. But, I mean, his health is actually a little bit better off right now. So he is going to...
Yeah, with this level 9, yeah, I'd say you'd want to do that. So BT here is trying to get his way back over to now Zelda. He does know where Zelda's room is. He's seen the entrance to it, so now it's just a matter of getting back there and rescuing the lady here.
Yeah, and I think this staircase does take him almost immediately to where she is. So we're going to have BT walking into Zelda's room very, very soon. And there the shutter door opens. And no damage. So BT will finish in first place with an official SRL time of 1:42.04 and get your GGs out.
Wow, that was a seed. That's about the best I think I can describe that. These runners both did an amazing job to survive as long as they did on that seed, because
no damage.
This is crazy.
So BT will finish in first place with an official SRL time of 1:42.04 and get your GGs out.
And with that, I believe we have BT in here. Congratulations, sir.
Hey, thank you. That was a pain in the behind.
That would be an understatement. So, what do you want to say about this? With the slight reminder that we are on, Speed Gaming 2 here, so we probably should keep this in the PG level, even though I know you probably want to utter many words that don't fall into that category.
Well, let's just say it was the wrong day to stop stiffening glue.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best possible description of this seed here. But as I said, that was actually an amazing job, all things considered, in terms of your play there. Yeah. Krim, you have anything right now? Because I think I'm still speechless from just how evil that seed ended up being.
No, it is now 1 o'clock in the morning because of how evil that seed ended up being. Yeah, so BT, I heard you like Wizrobes.
Wizrobes are they're pretty friendly if you bomb 7 at a time, but other than that, they're kind of meanie heads.
Yeah, I do want to apologize to you and Cooper for that.
I really did not deserve to win. I don't understand what had happened. I guess the correct move is to get the red ring out of 5 and then just face tank your way through 9, but at least the bombs were generous, like the bomb droppers.
Yeah, we actually mentioned about that quite a few times on your trip through 9 about how it's not a detriment, but you and Cooper are so good at combat that you just have to believe that there won't be any issues like what that level 9 came with, and well, you get all that, and it made everyone in chat, sick to their stomachs watching it. So
yeah, I'm sure they were sick after the first hour and 15 minutes, and then it took me another 27 after that.
Yeah, that just ended up being tough there. The combat on that seed was incredibly difficult. You guys went back and forth on leads at various points. I know you had the white sword, which made your combat a little bit easier.
Yeah, white sword is great. I didn't try and pick up the magical sword, but I only had 10 hearts, or maybe 9. I think I had 10.
Well, it was at least 12.
jkoper with very hardy.
I had 11, but yeah, it was at least 12. I guess I should have gone back into 6 for the white sword, or maybe 5 for the red ring. Those things would have been helpful, I suppose, in the end. But
both.
Yeah. Did you have either of those things, or did you have the red ring? I mean,
no red ring.
Okay, but you had the white sword.
Yeah, in order to win, I had to force a fairy and get a lucky fairy, and then just beat Ganon.
Yeah, I never even found Ganon.
Yeah, path to Ganon was really tough. He was literally in the top left corner of the map. And actually, interestingly enough, although we all assumed that the white sword was going to be in level 6, it actually turned out to be in the white sword cave, which was under a push block near level 6 there.
You know what? I regretted it, like, about a minute later. I said, you know what, that's not necessary. And then I thought, oh man, I haven't found the white sword item. White sword item could even be the silvers. I don't know. So, yeah. But,
oh, geez, man.
Yeah, well, I assumed at the time, I just said, when we were watching, the assumption that I made was, you looked at the clock, you knew what things were, you had to gamble that, silvers were in 9, and that's why you ran with it, and, it was a really good play at the time, because that's where the silvers turned out to be. But again, I've seen a lot of people forget sometimes that white sword cave exists. It didn't hurt really in this case, aside from it would have given you a little bit more offense, but it wouldn't have. It might have actually made you question and go back into level 6 actually at that point.
Yeah, well, I don't know. No, I probably would have gone into 9 first, like it did anyway. I still had there was still at least one non-important item outside of 9, because the recorder had to be in either 8 or 6, right?
Breastickle was at 8.
It was an 8, okay.
Yeah, by process of elimination, the recorder is 8. The heart container ended up being the item in 6.
Okay. So he found the heart in 6? Or...
I did. I found everything except the book and the recorder. The book is in 9, recorder was in 8.
Right.
Where was the arrow shop? It's my general question. Arrow / blue ring shop. I had 255 rupees.
West of Vanilla 9.
Oh yeah, I never even bothered to go over there because I found everything by the time I got up there.
Yeah.
That would actually make a lot of sense.
It's too bad that the arrows weren't behind that Goma then in 8, or anything helpful behind that Goma besides nothing.
I killed 0 Goma.
Yeah, I killed several. They didn't help me.
So I feel like neither of us really won.
I don't know. This went so bad for me. I think the wood sword was in the last possible cave for me, which is hard to believe, but just the timing I had with bad deaths, and then the way I just improvised on the overworld made it so that was like the last place I went to, and I had almost found every dungeon by then and wasted time in them. And then like the first 2 dungeons I dug were 3 and 4 for each of the boomerangs, and then I did get the magic Kyoto 2 at some point as well there. But that I dug 3 and 4 after getting their Triforces just to, find nothing right away. And then I got the hint for the ladder in 1, and 1 was in the last possible spot on the overworld that wasn't blocked by the power bracelet or the recorder. So 4 spots left. Yeah, and then you had full clear 1 to find that ladder, and didn't even help that much.
So the funny thing is I left 1 because I was like, well, I don't have the combat or health to fight this many blue wizards for a Triforce because I had the compass. I didn't think about searching for the ladder there. Then I had to go back. I was like, well, I have a white sword and I got a bunch of hearts now. I'll go back to level 1, and I fished out the ladder. So I was like, oh, now I can go to 6 and found a heart container. So it was not a fun mid game either.
Yeah, not picking up. I think not picking up that power bracelet was the biggest mistake that I know I made, that I can't blame on like luck and routing or anything like that.
Here's how great it was. The power bracelet was so great, I tried to pick it up twice.
Oh, you cleared that room twice for the second ladder?
I cleared the room once, got the power bracelet, came back into 8, was like, what's in here? Died 4 times trying to get back into that spiral, and then found no item there.
Oh, it wasn't even a spiral, though.
No, that was the raft that you
the
went
raft
back
item.
for.
That's what the problem is.
Right. The 8 was in 1 with the, what was it, 6 or 8 blue dark nuts and a single push block. The power bracelet.
Oh yeah, it was level 1's where the power bracelet was there. Yeah, no,
sense.
BT went back into 8 there and had a few times attempting to get into the spiral room with the orange whiz robes to discover that he'd already collected the raft from there. But at this point, again, thank you guys. Make sure everyone out there would like to please have you make sure to follow our runners here. They've been doing, an incredible job surviving this horrendous seed, for which I profusely apologize that it exists in the first place. But make sure you follow them. Make sure you follow the full team here who's done this. Commentators, Crimson Avex being an absolutely great commentator there to work with. Thank our tracker, CyberChow X, for that. Doing the tracking, Fiesel behind the scenes, running everything here. So make sure you guys give a follow, and if you liked what you've been seeing, please stay tuned. There's a bunch of action. You can go to the Speed Gaming website to be able to check out the calendar, see what upcoming events are, but tomorrow's schedule is chock full of events all day on the entire Speed Gaming network, and there's also a large number of Zelda Randomizer races that'll also be coming up as part of the tournament, so please make sure you tune in and check those out. And again, thank you guys, thank you BT, thank you jkoper for everything tonight. Good luck, best of luck in the future rounds here, and hopefully we'll see you guys make it quite far.
Right. Yeah, thanks for commentating and staying up late with us.
Oh yeah. And so for that, again, for everyone out there, I'm F. Coughlin, and I'll let Crim see us out.
All right. Once again, thank you, everyone. Be sure to visit us back tomorrow for even more races, and check out Speed Gaming because they'll have stuff going on all the time. Once again, for jkoper and Breastickle, are 2 amazing endurance runners. For my co-commentator Fred, for CCX on tracking, for Fiesel, and all of Speed Gaming. Thank you very much. We will see you all later.